Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. So in the last episode, you guys saw me get our trunk pan just about completely installed. Of course, we got some work to do when we get our quarters on, we get our tail panel on, all that stuff. We still got some tying in to do. But the major work with the trunk pan is all the way done. And boy, I'm sore. That was about 3 or 4 days ago now that I put that in. My neck still hurts, my back still hurts, but I ain't gonna let it stop me from keeping the progress rolling on our 68 Charger. So today we're going to do a little bit of work here to prep our wheelhouses for install. Got some holes to drill up here. We've got some trimming to do back here. We've got that all marked and ready to go. And then I made the dumbass mistake down here of drilling out all of my holes before I had my rear seat pan in place. And I thought I was getting ahead, thought I was saving some time. But unfortunately, with having to narrow our rear seat pan by 2.5 inches, I now have no access to get onto the back side of this. I got maybe about 1 inch to stick the torch up in there, and it's just not gonna turn out good. And then most importantly, I can't get back up in here, grind that away, and clean that up when we're done. So I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna fill all those holes, blend that, get them in weld through primer, and we're gonna drill our holes from the front in the wheelhouse and weld those to the rear seat pan and also our trunk pan. After that, I'm gonna move on here to the rear plenum. We've already got that kind of already screwed up into place here. It's obviously not on the car now, but I've got all my holes marked here. We've got some cleanup to do on the underside, but we'll get that welded up into place. And with that, that is really the last piece of inner structure that we have to do on the car. Because after that, we can stick our quarters on for one last time, get our tail panel on for one last time, weld it all together, and then move on to more exciting things of body work. It's gonna be at that stage for a little while, but now it's a really, really big step in the right direction, and the end is in sight. So with that, guys, I'm gonna set up the camera. Let's go ahead, let's get to work. right, so I got all my holes drilled out and ready to install this wheelhouse. And surprisingly, I'm actually shocked. I didn't miss a single time and go underneath of the rear seat pan here, which is a miracle in my eyes. So I've got this pulled tight together. This is the area right here where I have the biggest gaps between the wheelhouse and the floor pan. So I've got those sucked nice and tight together, and we're gonna probably start welding right there. The rest of this pulls nice and tight all the way around. Now, something I may do, and it's probably a little bit unnecessary, but I'm only gonna weld to this screw right here, and the reason being I don't want to weld this into place and then not be able to fit my lower quarter section on here, because as you guys can see, this can still move quite a bit. So what I'll do, we'll get this all welded up, we'll get the top welded in, we'll fit our quarter, and then we will use those screw holes that we use to temporarily install the quarter on here. We'll get that set exactly where it needs to be, come back through, burn that all in, and then we know for sure that our quarter fitment is gonna be perfect when it comes time to put those on. So a lot of you guys have been asking me too, they're like, why are you using the gray primer? To be honest with you, I thought I was totally out of copper, and the local paint store to me didn't have any in stock. You know, a lot of people get excited about finding a quarter on the ground. I get really excited when I find half of a can of copper primer on the ground. Rolled underneath my toolbox, I was cleaning earlier, found it, and thank God, because I'm completely out of primer. So that definitely saves me a few days of waiting and be able to get this video out sooner to you guys. So that's why some of it's copper, some of it's high zinc. To be honest with you, I haven't noticed a difference whatsoever between the two, but really happy I found that. So without further ado, let's go ahead, let's get set up, and let's get these welded in. All right, guys, that's going to bring us to the end of today's episode. Just a real quick recap on everything that we did. First started off by getting our wheelhouses permanently welded and installed into the car. I'm very happy to have that done. And guess what? Our quarters fit really, really nice all the way around. Really nice tight fitment up here with the outer wheelhouse onto the quarter. Then moved on to doing our window deck filler, lower plenum section here. Now, I did weld it from the top. You could definitely do this from the bottom up. But when I removed my old window deck filler, what I noticed is that it kind of dimpled the, like where the original spot welds were down. So I knew that I'd have to do some stuff here anyway. So I went ahead, I welded it from the top. And I know I keep saying I gotta get over to Harbor Freight and get some damn belts for my belt sander. But what I'll be able to do is clean these up really nice, make that nice and flush, and you won't ever be able to tell you know, that we did much work in here. It also welds here onto the sides. I tried to show you guys the best I could of how to weld that in, but no, it turned out really, really nice, and it went right back into our old spots where we had this thing pinned together. So I know it's right, I know the deck filler is going to fit, and I know it's going to tie out really, really nicely here with our outer quarters. So what comes next? We are finally going to get our rear quarter panels drilled out, cleaned up, lizard skinned. We just got let our lizard skid come in, so really excited to get these coated. And I also got some of the rear window rebuild kits here because all the grommets, all the soft parts here on our window track are rotted, falling apart. I already pulled this side out. I'm glad I left that side in because, to be honest with you, it was 2 months ago and I have no idea how it goes back together. So we'll get those cleaned up. We'll use the other side for reference and get it all cleaned up, pour 15 across the inside of here, and finally get our quarter panels, deck filler, and tail panel permanently installed on our car. So if you guys haven't done so yet, hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate all the love, all the feedback, all the support, all the haters. I love you guys too. So with that, take care. I'll see you guys next time.